Hi, all of you. Welcome to tonight's town hall. My name's Eric Reithel. I am secretary on the board here at Windy City Curling. And let me be the first to welcome you face to face to the 2021-2022 Windy City season. Basically, again, tonight, this town hall is just to give you a chance to talk to some of us on the board. You do have a few other members who are here from the board. Aaron DeGagne, who is our vice president, and Pettinger, who is a director at large. Who else is here looking down the line? If Tom's iPhone is Tom Ara, he is our past president. He is here too. So he may hop on to answer any questions. So if you have anything, just give a shout, put your hands up, come out on camera. Feel free to interrupt and say hi. Oh, it is. Thanks, Tom. But yeah, for those of you that have read the newsletter, this is going to seem a little bit of a rehash, but for those of you that have not, basically, what we're doing right now is we have a new league schedule that you may have already seen in league apps. We have extended all of the sessions Monday through Thursday to 8 weeks for the more casual leagues, which are the open mixed team and mixed doubles leagues. And then competitive league is now 14 weeks. I'm not sure if we ever updated the language on that, but we're still figuring out if it's going to be an 11-week round robin and then 3 weeks of playoffs, 12-week round robin, 2 weeks of playoffs. That really all depends on how many teams sign up. So the leagues are longer. The reason for that is we are expecting a lot of people to come back. We have already seen some names sign up for leagues that we did not see in the year of COVID. So we already starting to see some people return, which is very exciting. And we're hoping that with this being an Olympic year, the growth is only going to get even better. I believe John Henderson, who is here, he is our treasurer. John, I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce you. I believe he had.
Thanks for noticing me.
I know, I'm sorry, I'm the worst. We were sitting at about 100 members, John, last year?
112, I think.
Yeah, so the goal, oh, Miranda and Charlie are coming back. Yes, see, we already have new faces and returning faces. So yeah, it's gonna be a great, exciting year. We're happy to have all of you. We're hoping we are hit somewhat of an aggressive goal of around 150 to 175 consistent regular members on the ice by the end of this year. So because we have more people coming, we have to now extend draw times. We now have to become one of those dedicated curling clubs that has 2 draws Monday through Thursday night. After much discussion, we set them at 6:30 and at 9 p.m. And in the interest of making it fair for everyone who is adapting to this, we are setting it so that when you sign up for an evening, you sign up for only that night, which means your draw time will expand or vary week to week in the expansion, excuse me. So that it's not designed to punish anyone. We know some of you have very restrictive schedules, but it would be just too hard for us to manually go into league apps and set it so that XYZ or whoever has only 6:30 draw times or only 9 p.m. draw times. And the fear was that if we allowed you to sign up for one time slot specifically, one would fill and the other would not. And that doesn't do anyone any favors because we do actually need people on the ice. The one thing that we learned last year from the year of COVID with having as few people as we did have some dedicated diehards who came out and played all last season. I was one of them for a little bit there. Late start, but I joined. We need to start getting members on the ice for financial reasons. In addition to Monday through Thursday, we are now offering extra league options. We have already been running Friday afternoons and a Sunday AM brunch league. For those of you that did not know, maybe you've been in the Facebook group, you've seen some of the photos of the amazing food that these people are cooking for each other, which is great. These do run for shorter sessions. I believe 4 and 6 weeks. I think these run for 6 weeks, but we may have to fluctuate them throughout the year. These weeks these leagues, excuse me, may end up being skipping a few leagues. And that's only because of the needs of the club. Our partners who own the building, CCC, they do offer private events. And if they ever need like a Friday afternoon for a private event, we would obviously have to skip that for a week. If we ever host a Bonspiel, we may need Sunday mornings for the club. So that league would have to skip a week and return the next. But when you sign up for 6 weeks, you will get 6 weeks on the ice. It may just be spread out over 8 or so, depending on the time of year. One of the biggest changes is draft league. Draft league was Monday nights. We have now moved that to Sundays at 6:30. Sundays at 6:30, which was our open league, is now Monday night. The reason for that switch is, as part of our expansion to get more people on the ice, Rookies League is still running Sunday afternoons. And in an effort to give the rookies an easy transitory time to meet new people, get on the ice, and become healthy, happy members of our club, we figured it would be best to give them Draft League right after Rookies League on Sunday nights, so they can immediately jump into a league where they're mixing and mingling and meeting new players and getting to know new faces at the club, both new and old. So that's a great way that we are hoping to get sort of like a mixer of teams, so that new people don't come in and go, well, all of these veterans have their teams, they're all set, and I'm the new kid on the block and no one wants to play with me. Like, we don't want to be that club. We do not want to start down a road where we have a old guard, so to speak. That will
No clicks. We don't want any clicks.
Exactly. There will be obviously groups of friends that sign up, get to know each other. We're not telling you you can't be cliques and you have to be everyone's friend. We're not saying that, but this is just an opportunity so that people can still come into the fold and get to know new faces. So if you are a veteran, we would encourage you to sign up for Draft League. If you want to meet some new people, if you're recruiting for a team, if you're looking for fresh blood to play with, this would be a great opportunity. If you are a new person, this is a great chance to meet other new people in a non-intimidated setting. It's a great place to meet some of the veterans who can help teach you some new tricks and tips along the way that aren't covered in Learn to Curl or Rookies League, as comprehensive as we try to make all of that. Going with that, we have the All You Can Curl packages. Those are returning. $9.50 for the season of September through April is the price. You will note that that is a $50 increase from last year. That's simply because the ice cost was a little more than we anticipated, so we bumped that up. If that is a hard hit on the wallet, we do have half-season packages, September through December, and then January through April that you can do. They're not $4.75 each, so it all adds up to $9.50. And yeah, this is the big one. More members, cheaper rates next year. Every year we are making a commitment to reevaluating this. Since CCC, who owns the building, charges us rent for the space, the more of us there are at Windy City to rent out time slots and draws, the cheaper it gets for everyone. We are a nonprofit. We don't have to make loads of money. And just as hard as the board works to make sure that we don't run at a negative, we are working just as hard to make sure that we don't run at a crazy surplus. So we are trying to keep that as close to zero as possible, while still making sure we have a little bit in the bank for a rainy day fund. If we hit our goal of 175 members, the numbers we ran a month or so ago almost guarantees that we can bring that price down. I don't know how much, but I do know it can come down once we start to hit that number. And again, the more members we bring, the cheaper it gets. So if you have any family, friends, coworkers, whoever that has always talked about how fun it looks to see you on the ice curling, sit there and say, it is. Come try it. Join us. We absolutely would love to have them on the ice. From Anne, who is our draw master for the year. This note comes from her. So as you pay for an All You Can Curl package and then start signing up for leagues, the league will still invoice you in league apps. It's a weird system of like you pay your $9.50 and then when you jump into like Tuesday mixed teams, it'll say, oh, it's $2.40 for the league. Click, skip, pay later. Once we verify that you are an All You Can Curl, we zero out your invoice, and we usually do that within 24 to 48 hours. So don't even worry about that. You'll see that on the payment screen when you go to cash out, and then your leagues will still show up in your dashboard. So since we are trying to make an aggressive push to get new people on the ice, we have a new Rookies League format. The Rookies League is still 4 weeks. We now have a friendly user-friendly page that I built on our website that hopefully clarifies everything on how rookies can jump in straight out of a Learn to Curl. But basically, the way that we're doing rookies now is instead of doing a 4-week session, then a 4-week session, then a 4-week session, we're going to rotate the lessons we teach across the 4 weeks on a continuous rotating basis. So anyone can jump in at any moment, whether it's week 1 or week 3, and as long as they go 4 weeks in a row, they're going to get the 4 lessons we have to teach both off and on ice to learn how to curl and get up to speed so that they're ready to jump into a casual league or even a competitive league if they feel so emboldened. So this is to allow basically we're trying to remove the waiting period so that someone doesn't take a learn to curl and then have to wait 3 weeks for a rookies league, and then after 4 weeks have to wait another 4 weeks for this session to end, and then they jump into the next one. We're trying to get that almost continuous so they can just roll right into joining us on the ice as soon as they're willing and able. And like I said, we do have a new website layout on the, we have a new webpage specifically for Rookies League that explains all of this. For those of you that are returning members and you may have forgotten how to sign up through League apps, the bottom half of that page contains an entire walkthrough with pictures that show you exactly how to sign up and register for leagues, not just the Rookies League, but for any league. And it includes a few tips for members that are part of the All You Can Curl package, reminders and other information that you need there. So if you need that friendly reminder, it's right there on the Rookies page. Now, before you can jump in to any of the curling, you do have to be a full paid up member. The annual membership is still $100. That does not change, has not changed. That includes your USCA dues, on ice insurance, a t-shirt, a name tag. If you're a brand new member, all brand new members get a name tag. And so that's all contained in one package. Once your membership is paid for, then you can start registering for leagues or sign up for the All You Can Curl. The limited league we excuse me, sorry, I'm having a rough voice day because I worked out, I apologize. The limited / rookies membership we offered, which was $10, we are now including in the cost of the rookies membership. So that is not a separate thing that rookies have to deal with. It's all just right there in a one-stop, one-time fee. But yeah, just remember, you do have to have your dues paid up before league apps will allow you to register for anything. So that's a little bit about the leagues that we have right now. I've got a few more topics to talk about, but this is my nice happy break point so that if any of you have questions on any of that, this would be a time to ask away and I will happily field what I can. I'm gonna drink water awkwardly while you stare at me. Okay. Fellow board members that are here, did I omit anything? Did I forget anything? Is there anything that needs to be covered in that?
Not that I can think of.
Sweet, got it all. All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Just to touch on what you were saying about, because I was one of the people with the All You Can Curl and everything. A thing people can know too is when you guys do, I don't know if people all know this, but when it's manually processed, that you're put into a league, you do get an email on that. So you don't even need to check. You'll get an email that'll say you are now registered for that league. So it's just something for people to know that when you do All You Can Curl, sign up, hit skip pay, a day or two later, you'll get another email saying you are registered for that league. So
perfect. Thank you for reminding that, Phil. That's important. And the other thing too, that prompted a thought, when you sign up, if you are in a Thursday competitive league, if you are the skip or the first person from your team to sign up, the first person to go does have to be the team skip in league apps. Whether or not you actually are the skip on the ice is irrelevant. Just so we can establish that you are building a team, and then whoever that person who declares themselves the skip of the team to be in league apps, when the other three sign up to join your team, you have to approve them manually yourself. You will also get an email saying, hey, XYZ wants to be on your team. Do you wish to approve or deny this request? You just click, go right in, and you can do it. All other leagues, just fill out that one box that says, who do you want to curl with? Remember, if you have a full team, great, we will put you together. If you do not, whether you have one person or two other people, if there is anyone that does not have a full squad of 4, we will do our best to play matchmaker and pair you up with new faces so that you have a full team of 4 to field, which is why we ask what year you started to curl. So for those of you that have maybe come from another club but have been playing 5-6 years, for those of you that are brand new, we use that information to, as best we can, pair you up with people that are on par with your skill level, or if you tell us, people that are more experienced so that you can learn from them. It's entirely up to you. So make sure you fill out all of those little fields in league apps as you go through the sign up process for each league. We do actually use that information to help you out and make sure that you're on the team that you have the most fun with. Moving on to other topics then. One of the biggest things that we are going to be addressing this year is pace of play issues. Last year, in the year of COVID, we only had one draw a night. And with love to all of the members of the club, we all, myself included, got collectively lax in making sure that games lasted 2 hours. One of the big things we are stressing this season, now that we are adding 2 draws a night, Monday through Thursday, is that you are paying to play for 2 hours of ice time, not an 8-end game. If you don't get your 8th end in your 2 hours, that's on you. You need to be a little quicker. Just because we do have, and I've already received some feedback about people that are not the happiest about maybe having to play at 9 p.m. The one thing we don't want to do is exacerbate that problem by making them wait till 9:15 or 9:30 to start because the 6:30 draw didn't get off the ice on time. We have worked and spoken with the members of CCC. Scott, Anthony, and Matt are completely on board with making sure that all players get off the ice within 2 hours. We're not going to be super strict about this, but if the year we had last year continues into this year, we may get stricter about it. We just don't want to go down that road. We trust that all of you can figure out how to play 2-hour games. I know you can. We had to when we were back at an arena ice club, because the Zamboni would run us over if we didn't get off the ice on time. So we don't want to buy a Zamboni. Please don't make us buy a Zamboni. Is pretty much what that boils down to. So we are going to do our best to track how things go the first half of the year. And then we'll reassess in the winter break over Christmas and New Year's. If things are going great. If not, we'll figure it out then. But yeah, this is one of the biggest things that we need to stress as a club, especially since the Olympics are coming in February and we're expecting a lot of new members and a lot of new rookies. We are going to lean on the veteran members of the club, whether you're a 6-year veteran or a 1-year veteran, to show our new people how to ready curl, play at pace, and get an 8-end game in 2 hours. And how to possibly respectfully get off the ice if you only got 7 in 2 hours. There's no shame in shaking if that's the case. In fact, we'd appreciate it. So yeah.
If I could jump in.
Go ahead, please, by all means.
If you're struggling to get to that 2-hour mark and get all 8 ends in, please feel free to reach out. Like, sometimes it's as simple as putting your gripper halfway down on the boards by the benches or setting stones. So if you're struggling and you're not quite sure what you need to do, please reach out and ask questions, because everybody in the club is super helpful. And if anything, we love to give our opinions. So please ask those questions. We'd love to help you.
What? Opinionated? And you, me? What? No.
Soccer, I know.
No, I know. Yeah, one of the things that I need to find it, and Brian Stoiber, I know you're here, reach out to me after the meeting. I actually had a blog post from 2015 about this when we were in Arena Ice Club, about tips and tricks to get everything done and why. Because a lot of people, I sit there and say, oh, you could do this to get your skips rock ready for them before they slide down. Some people go, why would I do that? Here, there's a whole rationale behind it and how it actually does shave seconds off. I believe there's someone mathed it out and said that if every single rock takes an extra 10 seconds to throw throughout an full 8-end game where every stone gets thrown, you've added over 20 minutes to the game. So shaving seconds off in between delivery actually helps. And we, as Ann said, we have ways to help all of you figure that out if you're not familiar, because we want you to enjoy as much curling as you can in the 2 hours you are paying to play for. As of right now, we've already started to get some questions about with the Delta variant. What are we doing with masks? As of right now, there are no changes. We are keeping a very, very close eye on both the CDC and, for us, DuPage County Health, and what they are saying in terms of recommendations and guidelines. If DuPage County Health ever disagrees with the CDC, we probably will defer to DuPage because they are our most local health department. So to that end, they have not insisted indoor masking that I'm aware of. That may have changed because it changes day to day. We will keep up with that. If they say, hey, y'all need to wear masks inside, vaccinated or not, we will require masks. We are not anticipating changing gameplay. We're not only going down to one sweeper. We're not going to tell skips that are from the other team, you can't sweep in the back of the house. We're going to have the games play exactly as they are. And the trade-off for if we say masks, you wear masks, is that we are also not requiring vaccinations. So you don't have to have a vaccine card. You don't need to prove to us that you've been vaccinated. We are leaving it up to your personal choice. We would encourage everyone to get vaccinated. We believe that that is the best way to beat this thing. But if you disagree for whatever reasons that are personal and private to you, you are entitled to keep them. And you do not have to prove to us, hey, I didn't get a vaccine or I did. So yeah, the trade-off to that is If we say masks, masks. But as of right now, no changes. But we are keeping a very close eye on it. So if there's any questions on that, again, especially since this is health related, please feel free to reach out to anyone on the board at any time with any questions, comments, or concerns you have. So that's that. Now, one of the things that we are working on behind the scenes that will hopefully be in place by Labor Day, which is when leagues do start, we are working to implement a code of conduct for all of our members. It's nothing heavy. The whole point of this right now is there is a major push across the curling community, not just in the US, but in Canada and around the world, to expand the faces that we see on the ice. There are a lot of groups right now that are working to get more juniors on the ice, which we want. There's a lot of groups that are working to get more Black, Indigenous, and people of color on the ice, and a lot of people from the LGBTQ plus communities. As we at Windy City join that aggressive push to expand the diversity and inclusion we see in the ice house and in the warm room, one of the things that we are doing is we're joining a number of clubs that are implementing a code of conduct for members that explicitly spell out how welcoming we are, which does include a little bit of language on how we as a club can welcome in new people and to make sure that everyone is, I don't want to say behaving themselves because you guys are all pretty cool. We've had very few issues in the 7 years we have been a club. But there is language in there so that there is recourse for new people so they don't feel like they are intimidated coming into an established setting. We basically are using this as a way to say, hey, you're here. We want you here. We want you to curl with us. You are absolutely welcome. And if someone who thinks they are established or a veteran is going to trash talk you or make you feel uncomfortable in any way, shape, or form, here is a recourse you have. We are creating a 3-member committee panel to help address little issues like this as people learn to get along and grow. We're not anticipating needing it because we know our members. You guys are amazing. Like I said, we've had very, very few incidents in the 7 years we have been a club. But that is to say we have not been incident free. So this is simply a way to establish the awesome environment we've built and to keep it rolling. So if there's any questions on that, which I'm assuming it will be once we publish the language of the code of conduct, like I said, by Labor Day, feel free to reach out to a board member. There's one other thing I wanted to say about this. Yeah, for now, the waivers you have signed in league apps about our non-discrimination policy do stand. When the code of conduct comes down the pipeline, the board will decide whether or not the code of conduct supplants that or is supplemental to it. We'll be sure to clear all of that out, clear the air with that so that you know what you're signing and you have the opportunity to read it and agree to it or not. But yeah, that is something that is coming down the pipeline, just to help expand our diversity and include as many people as we can. All right, this is the fun stuff. Finally, fun stuff, Bonspiels. Hold on, I gotta open Ray's notes because this comes from Ray Stone, who couldn't be here tonight, our president in charge. We have 2 that are on the books-ish right now. The first one that for sure is on the books is the Founders Cup. So from Ray, the Founders Cup is Saturday, October 23rd through Sunday, October 24th. We may, if we have high demand, expand it to Friday the 22nd, bring it a day earlier. It's open format, it's $200 a team, and it will include a Saturday night dinner. This is our sort of kickoff Bonspiel to the season because we are doing 4 this year, which we finally have all of our leagues figured out that we can now also include the 4 Bonspiels we get from CCC for using the space. This one is going to be internal club only. So this is a sort of a mixer of getting the club together as a way of kicking off the season. It happens to fall, I believe, if I remember the calendar correctly, right at the end of session 1 in the heart of the first competitive league. So you will all have 8 weeks of ice time under your belt to get a feel for the ice, get a feel for your teammates and each other, and then sign up and then pummel the heck out of each other on the ice with sticks and stones, if you wish. But yeah, Saturday night dinner is included. Other meals are going to be up to you. But since we now have a Founders Cup trophy, winners get their name on it. We finally have this Founders Cup trophy. We figured out how we want to use it. It's a season kickoff interclub Bonspiel, and if you win, you'll be immortalized forever or as long as the club shall last, which is hopefully forever. So yeah, that's down the pipeline. So set your calendars, October 23rd, 24th, put the 22nd on potential reserve based on how many teams we get to sign up. So there's that. And then this is the other one that Ray is already kicking around ideas for, the dates and costs of our Tournament of Champions. That is still being finalized. It's probably going to be in May 2022 at the end of the official winter curling season that we have at Windy City. Tournament format is most likely going to be like an MCA playdown if you've ever been. It's a standard USCA playdown, possibly pool play. All those little details are still being worked out. But whereas this is also an interclub Bonspiel, you can't just sign up willy-nilly. You have to earn your right into the Tournament of Champions. Basically, anyone who has any team that wins any one of our casual weeknight draw sessions, open, mixed team, you gain an entry. The top 2 teams from the 2 competitive leagues, one in the fall, one in the spring, that we will be running, gain entry. And then we will probably have wild card teams. Because I think if the math works out, there will be 16 teams from across the years that will be eligible. Yeah. So yeah, 16 teams will be eligible. We will probably include wild card spots for other teams. If we have a lot of teams interested in signing up for a wild card, if they didn't earn a berth through session play, or if one team happens to win every single Monday night open, denying 3 other teams a spot, we'll have wildcard spots you can duke it out for, much like the Briar or the Scotties, if you're familiar with how they do that. The winner of this, cost is to be determined, but the winner of this, we are getting a club championship trophy. We're getting a nice new one. Anna's working on that right now with Barry. The former club championship trophy that we have has had all its little placard spots filled, and that was all covering of our arena ice time. So we're getting a new one to go with the dedicated ice now that we can officially run a full season pandemic free and have a TOC. So yeah, keep that on your calendar as you mix, match, and sign up for sessions throughout the year. As for that, that is about all that we have to cover that we wanted to.
Who is eligible to be on a wild card team?
As of right now, Ray is keeping an open format. So like hypothetically, since you just asked, and if you and I were on a team with like Lori and Greg, and we did not win a session, but Lori and Greg hopped to another team with 2 other people and won on like Tuesday night mixed, and they're going to take that team in, you and I can then squad up with 2 other people and say, hey, we want to try our hand at being a wild card. I believe the only requirement for being a wild card entry is that you have to have played in a full session at some point throughout the year. So if you, for whatever reason, didn't sign up for a league and then think you're just going to show up and be a ringer for the Tournament of Champions, with love, no. So yeah, you in order to be eligible for a wild card, you do have to have played in at least 1 session. There's no standings requirement. You didn't have to finish in the top half or whatever. But again, details on that are also being worked out by Ray, who's being assisted by Aaron. But those were the latest notes he gave me as they kicked around thoughts. If you have feedback, if you have suggestions, if you have anything that you want to sit there and say of, hey, what if you guys did this? Wouldn't it be fun if we tried X, Y, Z? Absolutely. Hit us with that feedback. We are your board. We are here for you. We want all of your thoughts, positive, negative, inquisitive, doesn't matter. If there's anything you want to ask, anything you want to say, any opinion you want to opine, we are here to listen to it all. So feel free to reach out to us anytime. Does anyone, like I said, that covers what the big topics we had. Does anyone have any questions that you want to ask about any of that? Please.
I have a question, Eric. You
Yeah,
said there was going to be 4 spiels. You just mentioned 2.
Correct. That brings us to another point. Oh, I forgot a slide. Thank you, Lori. You're awesome.
I'm not watching any slides. Sorry.
No, I know. That makes it even more awesome. No, we do have 3 other Bonspiels. that are standard throughout the year. One, I believe in December, one in February, and then one in April. April is pretty much going to be, I think, the Windy City Open. We've always done it in April, and that's where we want to keep it. As for the one in December and the one in February, hey, you sitting at home watching me on your phone or computer, we need Bonspiel coordinators. We need people with ideas who say, what if we try a Bonspiel like this? Or I can never seem to find a Bonspiel in December that is XYZ format. Why don't we host one? Perfect. Tell us. We need help. We need coordinators that are willing to take on the arduous task of putting a Bonspiel together. We will obviously be there to help, support, and offer assistance the entire step, every step of the way, excuse me. But yeah, we need people. And don't think that just because you have an idea, we're going to rope you into coordinating it. We will try, but that doesn't mean you have to say yes. And that doesn't mean you should withhold your idea out of fear that we're going to force you. That's not what this is about. This is a big year for us, real big year for us. Our 2 years ago was our first year in a dedicated space. Anyone that curled knows that that was not issue free. Last year was our second year in a dedicated space. Anyone that curls knows that that was not issue free. So this is the first year that we have where we can finally breathe easy and be really aggressive at getting as many people into our home as possible. And we need a lot of help doing that. So yeah, from I think Anne at one point, correct me if I'm wrong, you were putting out a call for people who want to help design the t-shirt that everyone gets with their membership this year. So if you have an idea for what should be the graphic design of the t-shirt, talk to Anne. Like if you have an idea for what a trophy or a plaque should look like on the wall, because we do eventually want to get trophies for the Bonspiels and plaques for the leagues on the wall so that every time someone wins a competitive league, the team gets immortalized on the wall. For Thursday night competitive this year, this roster. Same thing, Monday night open, Tuesday night mixed doubles or mixed team, Wednesday mixed doubles, et cetera, et cetera. If you have any ideas for how those should look or how those should go, we're here. We're here for all of it. So yeah, we do have a few extra Bonspiels that we need to figure out. We're putting out a call for coordinators and ideas. So that answers that question, Lori. And yeah.
Do you know dates for any of those? April, February, December, February?
Dates right now are tentative. Give me 1 second. I'm pulling it up on the calendar. Dates right now are tentative. And that's mostly based on the fact that Windy City, Curling Club community is hosting the MCA Playdown and MCA Playdown the first weekend of November. Excuse me. Let me get there. Okay, so in December, as of right now, the weekend before Christmas is the weekend we are targeting for our Bonspiel. We do have the freedom to move that up a weekend earlier if need be. But yeah, because Christmas Eve, for those of you that don't have a calendar immediately open in front of your face, Christmas Eve is a Friday. Christmas Day is a Saturday. We want to have the Bonspiel the weekend before, which would be the 17th, 18th, and 19th. Possibly on expanding to the Thursday before if there's demand based on the format and how many people from out of town come. Yeah, the reason that those dates are tentative is not only do we not know what the format is and how that's going to work, we also want to make sure that we're not going to be competing with any of our fellow MCA clubs in our area that weekend. So if Chicago or Exmoor has a big event that weekend that is open to the public, we obviously don't want to compete with them. We can host a Bonspiel the weekend before, but we'll figure all of that out. So that's December, and then the last full weekend of February, the 25th through the 27th are the current tentative dates for the spring Bonspiel in February. Again, we do have the freedom to move that up or down, but if we do it on those dates, that would coincide quite nicely with the end of session 3, which is the first 8 weeks out of winter break. And that will also be the first full weekend after the Winter Olympics. So that would be a huge potential boon for us to get people on the ice. But we have to figure that one out with CCC, because if we're hosting a Bonspiel on Friday night, they may really want to host a Learn to Curl on that night, since that'll be the first Friday after the Olympics. That's why everything is tentative. And we do have freedom to move stuff around. And again, Windy City's open Bonspiel is currently scheduled to be the 21st to the 24th, which is the second to last weekend in April. So yeah, those are the current tentative dates, the end of December and the end of February.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you for the question. Does anyone else have any other questions?
Hey, I've actually got one.
Yeah, go ahead.
So how does one go about reserving practice ice these days? I'm probably not going to play the first session because my slide was crap before being gone for 18 months. I don't even want to think about what it is now.
The Windy City app, I believe, is the best way to do that. We do maintain a calendar. Curling Club community, who, like I said, controls our ice house, they maintain a calendar through the app. So they are currently adding all of the league dates, Rookies League, Brunch League, all that jazz, any other Learn to Curls and private events to the calendar. So if you ever want to come in for a practice time, double check the calendar in the app. I believe it's also on the website. If not, I'll put it back up.
It is on the website.
Woo! Okay, I was shuffling the website around and I didn't know where I put everything. So yeah, if you need to check the website as well, that calendar is up to date. Scott does a really good job of maintaining that. And he is usually in the ice house during the day, but not every day. So if you ever want to reach out to them and make sure that someone will be there to let you in, and then as long as you're a member, go on in and have fun.
Sweet.
Yeah, no, thank you for the question.
In the same vein, if there's ever anybody who's willing to help a completely clueless slider, let me know because I need lots of help.
To that end, for those of you that don't know, in addition to our business Facebook page of Windy City Curling, we have a Facebook group called Windy City Curlers. If you are on Facebook, this is a wonderful resource to reach out to other people and say, hey, does anyone want to help me work on my slide? If you ever need a sub, it's a great place to just put a note in and put out a call and say, hey, I can't make it tomorrow night. Can anyone sub in for me on team, whatever? Usually the Facebook community that we have here in Windy City is really active. We also have sub lists. And then if you are looking at the chat here in Zoom, Aaron DeGagne posted our league calendar link there if you need it. So if you want to bookmark that, that'll be at the ready. And then that's the link group. Yeah, thank you, Aaron, to the Facebook group as well. So yeah, there are links there. And I believe all of this is also on the website. If it's not, give me a shout. Brian is helping me kind of take over web duties today, but he's still very much involved because of my inexperience in learning. So reach out to he or I, and we'll do our best to make sure that things are easily found because we want the website to become an amazing tool that is incredibly useful for you guys. So this is all based on feedback from you. So again, hit us with it all. Any other questions?
Oh, not a question, but feedback on the leagues.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it is, I'll be honest, personally frustrating for us that there's all evening leagues are 9 p.m. now as an option, which does not open up for parents with young kids because there's not really a chance to have a babysitter from 9 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. at night. And, this makes it so parents can't curl together anymore.
To that end, if you have something of that nature and you need to reach out to us, when you sign up for a league and you put a request like that in, we actually will do our best to honor it. Anne, who is our draw master, does do the schedules. The reason we opted against allowing people to sign up for a specific time, as I said, was we were very concerned after talking to other clubs that have gone through this growing process as we are currently growing, because again, this is only our third year with dedicated ice. We are bound to make a few missteps and we're bound to make a few choices that aren't going to make everyone happy, unfortunately. But talking to other clubs, one of the things that some other clubs said is that when they tried doing it per time, no one wanted to sign up for the late draws for these obvious reasons. And that kind of made it hard to fill leagues because everyone wanted to cram into one time slot. And since we are, comparatively speaking, only a 3-sheet house, that's only 6 teams that can go any given draw, which is only 24 people on the ice. We need more people than that on the ice playing if we are going to survive. we only had one draw a night the entire year of COVID. And financially, that really hurt the entirety of both CCC, who own us, and Windy City Curling itself financially. So we do need to expand. We are willing to work with anyone to the best of our ability to make that work for you guys. But unfortunately, we can't promise or do anything absolute as saying, yeah, sure, you can only play at one given time. Because if one person gets that, then everyone has to have that. And then the process continues to exacerbate itself. And if what happened in terms of membership happens again this year as last year, it's not a good place for us to be at all, unfortunately. So we are willing to work with you. Reach out to us, shoot a note. We'll see what we can do to help to the best of our ability.
I'd also like to remind you that there is a 9 a.m. Sunday morning option as well.
Right.
Yeah, that's just only a 4-week league, so it's greatly
Jenny.
limiting the amount of time that you can
Jenny,
play.
no draws per día.
Sorry, two people were talking at once. Stacey, what were you saying?
I was just saying that that's only a 4-week league, so greatly limits the amount of time that you can play. And, you know, if you have church or traveling on the weekends, that's the only time besides Friday, 3 p.m., which with most people working, aren't off by 3 p.m. So
Right.
There are a couple options. It just is not much for flexibility. And, you know, my personal feedback is I feel like either mixed night or mixed doubles night, which has females in it, should really have some kind of dedicated time to really help try to bring more females into the club. Because if you have parents playing together, if they can't get a babysitter, let's be honest, it's going to keep more females out of the club, because most likely they're going to be the ones babysitting or watching the kids. You know, they're the ones that won't be able to get out. And I know that's something that every curling club struggles with, is how to get more women in the club.
Right.
And I just feel this is like another way that can be a blockage for women to be able to get into the club.
Sure. And we will, of course, look at that moving forward, because we do still have session 2 in the back half of the fall. And then we still have not determined anything in terms of league structure for session 3 and 4, which will be coming after Christmas. And then
I know.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, I know you guys are struggling and there's never a good time and there's never a good way to do these. And I do appreciate that. It's just frustrating for us of new parents of young children.
Right. And I'm sure I have little nieces, so I absolutely empathize as best I can. So yeah, it was not an easy discussion to kind of hammer down the leaks, because there was always, well, what about these people? Well, what about these people? What about these people? There was a lot of that in the back and forth that we had when we discussed all of our schedules, back in June and July. And it was one of those things where we didn't want to target any one particular group, especially as we are trying to expand. As I said, we are committed to expanding our diversity and inclusion on this ice. And so there was never any sort of targeted discussion of, well, who cares about parents? That was nowhere near the discussion at all. So, we very much appreciate the feedback, and it is something we will continue to look at as we grow as a club, especially this year. And then I believe Willem, I think was the name I saw pop up, had a comment as well. I'm sorry if I'm. Did you say something as well when Stacey was speaking? I think you were the other one that overlapped, and I didn't catch what you were saying. Okay, maybe not. So yeah, that is something we are obviously gonna, like many things, keep our finger to the pulse on and keep our ear to the ground on. So thank you for the comment.
And I guess on a parallel, like those of us with children old enough to curl, there's no time that we can do that because they can't do a 9 p.m. draw on a school night. And, they're still in school at 3, can't make it 3 o'clock on a Friday, church on a Sunday. So then Sunday night's the only other draw even possible. And unless we can guarantee, like my son only wants to play on my team. So unless we can get an accommodation on that, he can't curl. He wants to curl.
I believe and we were just discussing this a few days ago up to tonight in our Slack chat. I believe we have decided that on Sunday nights, that if we do have 2 people that want to play together, or especially parents with kids 13 and under that want to curl together, we will make that accommodation and have you be drafted together as part of the draft league.
Okay, great. Then I can go ahead and sign us up then.
Yeah, the accommodation was children 13 and under can play draft and be drafted with their parents. that was the accommodation we agreed on, I think, Eric.
Yes, yeah. Sorry, I'm
Okay, fantastic.
operating all of that from memory. So, but yes, that's what I, yeah. And so little things like that, like little ways, again, little ways we can help to get you guys on the ice. Again, we don't want to kick you out. We're not trying to sit there and say, well, tough. Like seriously, if there's ways we can be accommodating, we are absolutely going to do our best. So yeah, no, Jim, thank you for that. That was another thing I should have mentioned in the Sunday draft league. Especially since we do know we have parents and children. So if you are playing with your kids, we are obviously willing to get you on the ice together because bonding time is awesome. So thanks, Jim. Any other questions about anything? I know I threw a lot at you tonight.
I was just going to say something, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
This, as Eric said, this is the first time that we've had a really normal year. So we're trying to figure this out kind of as we go along. So if you have an issue, then yeah, bring it to our attention. But also if you have a possible solution too, because we don't have all the answers either. I mean, we're just volunteer board members too. If you have a solution, hey, this doesn't work, but how about this? That would help us out too. And we're not this say all to be end all or whatever, you know what I mean?
And no, that's a great point. And to that end, John, for those of you that are looking for a time that is a little more feasible for your schedule, Sunday morning and Friday afternoon at 3 weren't random ideas that we decided to throw against the wall and saw what stuck. Those were member ideas of saying, hey, we've got about 16 of us that actually can play Fridays at 3, and that gels really well with all of our schedules. Is that enough people to make it worth running a league for? And we said, yes. Same thing with Sunday mornings. There's like, we have a bunch of people that like 9 a.m. fits before we all have to head to church. Is there any way we can show up and play Sunday at 9 a.m.? Yes. If you are a member of a faith and your services are earlier and an 11:30 draw works for you or a noon draw works for you, and you've got enough people that you can say, hey, you know, we all get out of church at 11. We can be here by noon to hit the ice. We would love to take the ice at noon on Sundays. Is that open? Hit us up, let us know. And if there's any way we can work with CCC and you to get it on the calendar and get it on the schedule, we absolutely intend to do that. So, and that's how some of the best leagues start. I mean, mixed doubles kind of started that way by everyone agreeing 8:30 was a great draw. A lot of people there are actually not happy that they now may have to take a 6:30 draw and get here even sooner straight out of work. So like little things like that, if you've got ideas, we're here to hear them all. So thank you, I appreciate that. Is there anything else I need to answer or from the board or from anyone? Philip, we can hear you cooking. Sorry. All right. So no, if that's it, then no, thank you all very much for coming tonight. This is not a cutoff point by any stretch. We're still here, so reach out to us. But other than that, thank you very much for giving us an hour of your evening on a Sunday. And we eagerly look forward to seeing you on the ice. Any issues with the registration or anything moving forward, send us a message. We'll talk to you soon. So thank you all very much for coming.